Hi everyone, in today's episode we will dive deeper into QObject and all Qt related OP. We will look at the QObject structure, all of that, and extend our knowledge about parent-child relationships. As you remember from the previous episode, QObject inherited objects build a parent-child hierarchy. See here, QObject organize themselves in object trees. It helps with memory management because objects can cascadely delete themselves without much effort from the developer. I already created here an empty console app, and now let's take a deeper look at QObject header. Let's create a new object. I will call it just obj, and also I want to delete all comments because we don't need it right now. QObject. And let's see what's inside it. If you hold Ctrl and right click at a type name, you can see that header file. If you don't have much experience in C++, probably header files from some libraries or frameworks look scary to you. But don't worry, I will show you where you actually should look at. QObject starts here with the QProperty macro for an object name. When we will start the QML journey, we will talk more about this property and how it works. But for now, you should know that it just creates the property with the getter to read, with setter to write, here with the signal and the slot where when property changed. If you scroll down, here I noted for me. Here you see we can see the getter for a parent, so we can get parent of object. We can also see at line 201 the getter for the children list. Each QObject stores pointers to its children in QObject list. As you see here, the type. Here it's type. Okay, and the crucial thing I should point out here is that there is no copy constructor. By that I mean it is, but not public. So it can give us some problems in the future, and I'll show you when. So the copy constructor is, of course, the one that takes an object by value, not like a link pointer or something, just by value, and copies everything to a new object. And since each child in a QObject can have an arbitrarily large collection of children, it is easy to see when copying QObjects is, why it is not permitted. Because if one object gonna have 5 children and each of those children's have 5 more, then copying it could be slow. Here there is more different methods. The main ones, it's like set parent or find children, find child. But now we'll write example, and with that example I will show you how we use them. Here's the deadline. Of course, full code from this episode is in the repository. A link is provided in the description. And if you want to follow along, then start it now, because later I'll extend the code that will be written now. I want to create class here, new class user. Let's copy here and here. It adds to you make lists txt, and for now I want to just create the class with the username property. So QString username is gonna be getter, and here let's delete private QString username. Oh, sorry, and include QString. In the source file, just add definition and return username. It's easy. And also we have to change constructor to specify, sorry, here, to specify username. And when someone wants to create a user object, you have to pass username. And if you remember in QObject, we have that object name, and it is not assigned automatically. We can assign it just for our purpose to check it later. So here I want to just set object name. It's method from the inherited from the QObject, and just Q name. Now they're gonna be the same. Now to show you what lack of copy constructor uses, I want to create a function in the main file, print user. Of course, it would be better to create it inside the class, but just to show you when lack of copy constructor can give you issues, I mean errors. Include user class we created earlier, and here I pass it just as a value, not pointer, not link, just as a value. Okay, and when we pass as a value, object is copied, and here QInfo, we also have to include QDebug to use QInfo and output some data. And here let's do it like this: user info, and then the object. If you don't know what T does, it's like a tab, like 4 spaces in the console. You'll see when I'll run up. Object name is just user dot object name. And let's go to another string so you see it. And the same with the username. Username. Okay. And in the main function, I want to create 3 users. So user1 equals to user, I don't know, user1, it's username. Oh no, most oftenly usernames don't have spaces, so let's pass underscore. And I'll specify also parent to not lack memory. Sorry, leak, not lack, leak memory. User2 is we will create pointer to it, so we will create on heap user user2, and the same, sorry, the same. And the third one, let's name it user3 and specify the same. Oh, and okay, sorry, I forgot. We have to, of course, use new operator. As you see here, we can have the memory leaks, and I want to print user. Print print user, call the function. First is user1, just passed by value. Second is print user, but here, because we have pointer to it, we have to use that asterisk operator to pass the actual value. And print user3. And as you see, we can't actually compile it, we got 3 compile errors, say call to an implicitly deleted copy constructor. It means that we can only pass our QObject as a pointer to avoid copying, and we just can't compile program like this. Now let's make it correctly. So we pass it as pointer, and here we use that one operator. And let's also show the parent. And so the same thing. Parent. Let's use parent object name. Then I also want to print out all children names. So here we can get inside QObject list. I use lint to avoid copying. Children, and we should include it also. QObject list, and then with the simple for loop, iterate over it. We'll talk later about containers and method inside some like QObject list, all that. But for now, I mean, it's obvious what method called length returns. It returns just length of container. I mean, number of childrens inside it. And okay, info. Child. Let's also give something like index to it, and to not start it with 0, because I is firstly 0. We add 1, so we're not gonna get 0, 1, 2, 3, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Then object name. Okay. And now we can use it correctly. So here I pass it as a link, and here just pointers. As you see, we don't have any errors, warnings or something, and we can run it and see our output. I don't know if you see it good, but you see object. What? Object name. Okay. Object name, username, parent. Just to test, we can specify here user1 as parent. So you see parent here is user1, and here child number 1 is user2, that one. And we can do similar here, for example, and just we have pointer, so I don't have to use operator. As you see, child 1, parent. That's how it works, and everything is deleted after program has finished. We'll create a little chatroom program, and it will be the main example in this episode to wrap up new information. Remember that we made task and task manager classes in the previous episode, and we built a good parent child hierarchy and set task manager parent as an application. There weren't memory leaks, but now I want to cover the situation when our kind of manager think class doesn't have a parent. First, just to make some good example, let's add the signal and slot to the user class, and signal is gonna be message send QString sender username. I pass username and not just user, because later I want to show you one more interesting method inside QObject to find the child. QString. Then public slots. Message. Okay, I have to add definition to user CPP and just emit message sent signal, username and message. Okay, then I want to add new class called chatroom. Make it QObject. The chatroom will have add, remove, and send message methods. But we'll also implement the structure to clear everything from user list in case the chatroom won't get a parent, as I said. I don't know if you see. I hope you see. Okay, so first constructor we have it, then add user string, then remove user, then destructor, and let's make a slot. We don't want signals here, just one slot. It's a private one. When on message received, received. So here we get the same as sender username and message. And also we need a private section with the QList. It's like this simple container, don't worry about it. We're not gonna use some hard methods, just add elements. It's the same as it's the same list as you know from the STL. I mean, very similar. Okay. So include the QList, include QString, and include user object. Also, let's add the definitions. In add user, we just create new user. New user equals to new username. And as a parent, I specify this chatroom object, because when chatroom is destroyed, then the users from the user list should be deleted. And connect. We connect signals and slots, So here specify user message sent. It's our signal. And then we specify this object. So previously, as I said in the previous episode, I think previous, we first specify that object with signal, then our object with slot, and link to the slot on message received. And we have to, oh sorry, users is the list we created, and append. So we add new user to it, new user, and also I want to here include QDebug, include QDebug, and write some message. Write QInfo, username, join the chat room. Then the second method is remove. So we just remove it from our list. And let's go like this. And here we have username passed. We need to iterate over all list of users and check whatever username is matched or not. So for user, here I use just for each loop, but we can use the easier one with from I equals to 1 to let's if username is equals to username provided in parameter, then let's also QInfo it. Just not join it, but left. And m users, remove one, and remove one just removes element we provide. And also to not leak memory, delete user from here from memory. And we can return to not to just end our loop. And I don't want to use here break, because if no user with that username is found, then we should write some message. So is not found. If you just break the loop, then this message will be written. But if you return and then all method gonna be ended. Then we have destructor, and here is the interesting one, because see how we clear the list at the destruction stage. First I use QDeleteAll function provided with Qt, and this function it deletes objects but not clears it from the queue list. So later we have to call also QUsersClear to not leave dangling pointers. So as I said, we do it because QDeleteAll deletes object but leaves dangling pointers in the list. So you always have to clear it. If you skip clear, then the list will be left with elements, but users have already been deleted. It's the problem. So first I delete all, then clear. Let's go to the main function and test what we have written. I want to let's comment it out because we don't want this example. I want to include just chat room because chat room includes user, and there is no sense to include all two things. So chat room. Then chat room, let's add, for example, it's just a string. I don't know, Alice and chat. Oh, sorry, not char, chat. Bob. Then we can to send some messages with the help of that signals and slots we specified in the user class. We should find the user object, and to do this we can call, let's use just autumn. First is Alice equals to chat room find child. Find child method is provided from QObject, and here we can specify the type, and here just write username because it searches it with the object name. An object name I specified it here. So when we pass to add user Alice, let's go to the chat room. Here it goes to the username in user object, and user object set it as object name. And find children finds it with object name. Okay, and the same with the Bob. Maybe let's do with capital letters. Okay, and if it found it, so if Alice, then Alice send, sorry, send message and send hello. I don't know, and if Bob found it, then Bob send message hi, and at the end just a test method for remove. We can remove just one of them. The username Alice, and user left for us is Bob. We can also it's one Alice and one it's just ABC, not an existing user, so we will get a message it's not found. And as you see, chat room doesn't have a parent, but we did not leak any memory because here we have destructor and clears, deletes and clears everything. Let's run it and see the output. Oh wow, wow! I have error. You know what? I was in a little bit hurry and forgot to write definition for on message received. I'm sorry. Let's do it right now. It's small definition, so we just queue in for the sender, username, and message the sender wants to send. And now if I run it, then you see all output correctly. So Alice joined the chat room here when we edited, then Bob joined chat room. Alice we found Alice and found Bob. Alice sent message hello, Bob sent message hi, and Alice left the chat room, and we've tried to remove also not existing user, and it is not found. but we didn't leak any memory because in the destructor deleted and cleared everything. I think this is it for today. In the next episode we will discuss smart pointers, and thank you for watching and see you in the next episode.